still.
Sure, whatever.
Right. Then they'll give me some.
Are we live on this?
Who can at least watch my back and at least tell me.
If you ask me how to spell it, we're in trouble.
He's an incident commander for Boulder IMT. I'll say it on what? For Boulder IMT. Incident management team. We'll start in 2 minutes. Or a minute and a half.
Live on YouTube.
Yeah, if you can
wants
go
to
live.
mind their P's and Q's.
Oh shit.
Adorable. Maria, give me 1 second.
What's your first name?
My first name's Maria.
Can you spell that?
Maria is Marya.
Last name?
Last name's Washburn. Washburn.
And you are?
I am.
One more time.
Yeah, it's Maria, Marya. Last name's Washburn, Washburn.
And title.
And I am the Public Information Officer for Boulder Fire Rescue. This is how you spell my last name, Washburn.
What is that?
They're trying to talk to me. I'm just gonna turn the mic on real quick and tell them that I'm not doing very good right now.
Starting right at that.
You can talk to them.
Hey Cheryl, I got you. They're about to start here, so no, I can't do your head.
I am pulling this thing. Oh no, I see myself.
Now you're gonna mic the thing?
I don't know. My mic's cutting in and out, so
Can you hear me?
I don't trust that
You
one.
got 30 seconds.
Cheryl.
I know, it's cutting in and out. I don't trust
Turning my mic off.
Okay, I'm going to get started. Once again, my name is Maria Washburn. Good morning. You can spell my name Marya Washburn. I am the Public Information Officer for Boulder Fire Rescue. I'm going to share a couple minutes of updated information, and then I'm going to introduce our incident commander, Mike Smith, with the IMT team, also with Boulder Fire Rescue. So this morning we're working on getting an updated acreage estimate. Right now it's a rough estimate at approximately 200 acres. We hope in the next hour or so we'll be able to get you more specifics. We have a flight overhead right now trying to get that. We are still reporting 0% containment. We'll work on that today. There's no reported injuries on the fire. And there's also a newly updated evacuation map that was updated at 11:08 p.m. last night. Folks can go to that evacuation map to see whether or not they can get into their homes. If their home is in the green section and the route to get to their home is in red, they will still not be able to get to their homes at this time. And we are working on that. As of right now, the number of people evacuated is estimated at 1,629, 699 housing units, and 836 buildings. Those are the facts I have for you right now, and now we're going to let Mike Smith share some more information about the fire.
Good morning, everybody. Again, Mike Smith. I'm the IC for the Boulder Incident Management Team. A couple updates. One that just came in. We're actually now at 21% contained. That's up from our 0, so we're very happy to report that. Yesterday, we had a great day as far as our initial attack went. We had over 200 firefighters from over 30 agencies. That combined with all of the fuels mitigation treatments that we've done in this area is one of the reasons that we had such great success. We've had 0 structures lost. We have 0 reportable injuries currently. So as we work through the day today, we are going to have about 110 people currently is what we're going to have staffed. We're going to continue to work with retardant. We'll have 2 fixed wing air tankers overhead as well as a helicopter. We have resources from all over the Front Range coming in and working on this. Today we will continue to reinforce the line to make sure that the fire doesn't move towards the city or down towards El Dorado Canyon. We're going to continue to try and corral this fire up into the rocks, into the snow, which is really one of our big holding features right now, and one of the reasons that we're having really, again, good success. So as we go through the day today, the DFPC, the multi-mission aircraft will be overhead. I think it is up there right now. We'll get the current acreage. Like Maria said, we believe it's around 200 acres. We'll update that as quickly as we can. We'll also be re-examining our evacuation areas today to make sure that they're appropriate, and we'll get people back into their homes as quickly as we can. With that, again, I just want to reinforce the fact that good planning, good prep, and a lot of good mitigation work are the reasons that we had good success today. So with that, I'm open to any questions for the group.
Do you anticipate any greater evacuations, or is what we're seeing now, is that going to be probably the most from here on out?
With the weather forecast the way it is today, initially the forecast was for us to have southwest winds, which would have been very favorable. The forecast for today is actually that we're going to have northwest winds and west winds, which are a little less favorable, but the wind speeds aren't that high, 15 gusts at 20. So we have the plan in place to create more evacuations. Our hope is that we don't have to do any of those.
Any word on the cause yet?
Currently it's under investigation. I know that the Sheriff's Department is actively working on it. I think we've got the area, the origin area identified, but we don't have an actual cause yet.
Is there any knowledge on how damaged the hiking trails are up here?
I haven't heard about any damage to the trails. I'm sure that there will be some closures because of hazards, so burned trees, hazard trees at the open space and mountain parks will have to go in and clean up. But I think from what I know, the intensity of this fire in a few places was pretty high, but for the most part, this is a pretty low intensity fire.
Can you talk about the origin area specifically, a little bit more specifics on that?
Well, what I can say is up on the northwest corner of the fire is basically where it was reported. Exactly where it is, that's the Sheriff's Department is really digging into that. I know that it was somewhere up in the Bear Creek area. That's about as much as I could say, though.
How has the lessons that you guys learned from the Marshall Fire helped you out with this fire?
Well, I was the IC for the Marshall Fire as well, and these are two different animals. But one of the things that we learned from the Marshall Fire was how to rapidly escalate and integrate multiple agencies and get them to work together. And I think we had a much more seamless process on this one. We continue to learn from every one of these fires, and we certainly saw an improvement from Marshall, but I think it's a little bit of apples and oranges just because of the wind speed and the location.
Well, you said improvement. Was communication something that improved? Like in what areas specifically?
I think just in how we mobilize resources, so how we order things. It's a lot of the behind the curtain stuff, just what the processes are, and then how we get them in, get them integrated, get them all of the things that they need, the communications, what their chain of command is. It was just tidying things up. I think we did very well with what we were dealt on Marshall, and I think we were able to build upon those successes here.
I'm curious to see how close everything is with the retardant and everything. How close was the fire to these homes?
Well, you can pretty much see it right there. So we were within probably 1,000 yards to getting to the homes on the west end of Boulder. Between aggressive initial attack and having the aviation assets, the single engine air tankers being able to put some retardant down in between the homes was a real benefit. And that's, unlike Marshall, we were able to fly on this fire because our wind speeds weren't such that we were grounded.
For those of us, or for those of the viewers who are just joining the stream now, can you repeat again when evacuations might be lifted?
We'll be re-examining them throughout the day. I don't anticipate making any changes until probably 6 p.m. this evening. We want to get through the burn period today, see what the weather's going to do. We've got today, and we've got one more critical fire weather day tomorrow. The winds aren't that much, but it's going to be very hot and very dry, especially for this time of year.
Can you talk about the alerts and how that was different than the Marshall Fire and getting alerts out quickly?
Sure. So we used our Everbridge system as we normally do, but we also got the WIA, the cell phone alerting that has been in the works for a few years, but it's just slowly coming in online. But we were able to utilize all the different systems out there, and I believe that because of the way it works, it actually went a little bit bigger than where we thought it was going to go. We know there's a margin of error when we put that out, but it went out. We got the people out of the way, and I think it was a very successful effort.
How would you say that was different than the Marshall Fire? You know, we heard from people who said we never got an alert.
Well, the cell phone notification system, they call it the WIA, was in process of being implemented previously. It was in place this time, so our partners over at the Office of Disaster Management were able to push that out, and I think we got the numbers of people out of the way very quickly. So, and you had one.
Yeah, so just to confirm, you said it went from 0 containment to 21% contained?
That's correct.
Okay, and you said 100 firefighters will be on it today from the ground and in the air?
I think we're at between 100 and 120 today.
Okay,
We've still got resources rolling in.
okay.
Mike, it's been a long year. How are you feeling?
It's March and it feels like it's November. No, we're doing good. We're nervous about the season coming up. When you look at the long-term forecasts for the upcoming season, I think this is just a sign of the way things are going to go. And so we continue to work on our planning processes. We continue to work on our team building, and work with our partners to make sure that we're as dialed as we can be. So we're feeling good, but we're a little nervous about the upcoming season.
Yeah. Are there any words of comfort that you can share for the viewers who are impacted right now who want to go home?
Yeah, I think right now we're in a good position. The wind speeds are nothing like they were during Marshall. We got a lot of good resources in place. We have full structure protection groups as well as assets up on the hill. I think as long as the weather does what it's supposed to do today and tomorrow, we're going to be in good shape. There's no guarantees with any of this, but we continue to work our way through the process, and just know that we got a lot of really solid, very competent firefighters out there doing a lot of good work.
We used to say that there were fire seasons in Colorado. Is it safe to assume that pretty much any time of the year now can be considered a fire?
We only have 365 fire days a year.
Okay.
Is there any way you can point out like the area that you guys are focusing on the most here today?
There's no specific area. Obviously, the area of emphasis is we want to keep it out of the city and keep it out of El Dorado Springs. But we're working on the entire perimeter.
I guess where is active burning taking place right now?
Well, we're still in we're pretty calm right now from the overnight humidities.
Gotcha.
So where we'll see activity pop up is in the dry east and southeast aspects as we move through the day.
Is there an update on any injuries or missing people?
0 injuries, 0 missing people. And I need to go.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
If we have more information later in the day, we'll let folks know. We know that some information got pushed out there about an 11 o'clock presser. That's tentative right now if we get more information by then. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Mine too. That is the worst. Oh my God.
Like I look at it and I'm like,
who is that idiot? You're very nice. Thank you for pointing it out.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, I see myself. That was going by.
And I'm like,
So moving.
I need to see someone edit that out.
I was live on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she heard me. Nah, Jennifer, we flipped it before.
I have
That's exactly what I said, and that was 5.
Gotta keep grabbing that one. Is it this one?
But I'm in an unmarked.